There we go, another week. Let's go. Would have finished this quest last week, but I failed with this boss. I came in here with 1 prayer point and was prayer flicking this thing and ran out of prayer and I had no food. I didn't realize there was a safe spot, or I was at low HP, had no prayer. I didn't really have time to sit and run around and find one because I didn't want to get killed. My kitten. But yeah, anyway, here is a safe spot if you need one for this quest. So for this week's quests, here is the first little group of them that I could fit on the screen. So all of these quests give XP and quest points, of course, so that's why they're worth it, but just a few other little unlocks that you get from these. So from the Tree Gnome Village, you unlock the spirit trees, which help you get around the map a little bit easier. From Grand Tree, you unlock the Gnome Gliders, which are really helpful. In Search of the Marique, you unlock a little shortcut that you can get into underneath Canifis. In Aid of Marique, you unlock a new city, the Berg de Rot city, and Contact, you unlock the Karis and the bank in Sophinim, or whatever the city's called. So the other two, not really any extra unlocks, but it should take about an hour, 25 minutes. So for the XP rewards that you get off Contact, make sure to use them on HP. We want to stay low combat, and we definitely want higher HP. And before you go off and do these quests, I just have a few tips for Contact. I did die a few times on this quest and lost quite a bit of time. It took me way longer than it should, so I'm going to go ahead and give you guys some tips so that you guys can hopefully do it in one go and in the time that I posted before. So first of all, when you're going down through the cave, most guides will tell you to go through the shortcut or the short route. There is a longer route which is a lot easier at a lower level. You can go the long route like I'll show in this clip, but it is pretty dangerous. You can pretty much get like one hit if you get unlucky. You should bring really good food if you do go this route, and make sure you're eating pretty often, if not like the entire time, to make sure that you don't die. For the boss fight, you want to make sure that you are using this safe spot. The guide that I'm going to link down in the description should show this method, how to use this safe spot. So if you watch that guide, you should be fine, but use this safe spot, because if you don't, he'll spawn monsters and it's pretty hard at our level. So here is our next batch of quests before we get to skilling. So most of them give XP and they all give quest points, but other than that, Creature of Frankenstein, you unlock an underground cavern, which is an okay place to train. It was better back in the day. Now that we have Nightmare Zone and stuff, we won't be using it, but it is there. Lost City, you unlock Zeneris. It's a new city. Along with that, you unlock the ability to wield a Dragon Dagger, the ability to wield a Dragon Longsword, and with Fairy Tale Part 1, you unlock the Magic Secateurs. And just some tips for Fairy Tale Part 1, since we are low level, it can be pretty hard. I would bring recoils. They do a ton of damage to it and help out a ton. And other than that, there is something I want to go over with you guys that I haven't gone over yet, which is extremely helpful. You'll definitely want it later in the game once you're a higher level, and that is prayer flicking. So I'll start off with the beginner way, which is basically right before the monster attacks you, you click on your prayer, and then as he attacks you, you click it off. If you have the correct timing, it should take none of your prayer points, and if your protection prayer is up as he's attacking you, then it should block damage. So you can do that with any NPC because prayers block all their damage. So the benefit is using 0 prayer while getting full damage protection. This is extremely helpful with quests and higher level PVM. And then a more advanced form of that is 1 tick prayer flicking, which is actually what you're seeing me do in this clip. 1 tick in the game is 0.6 seconds. And if you turn on your prayer and then turn it off all within 1 tick, it will take none of your prayer points. Just like the previous method, with the previous method you turn it on and then turn it off all in 1 tick, but then you leave it off until the next attack comes. So that's a bit easier to do. This method, you turn it on and off every single tick. So what that means is you have to double click your prayer every 0.6 seconds, and you have to be pretty accurate with it, pretty accurate timing. And if you do that, it will make your prayers always stay on and it will take no prayer points. And you can do it with your quick prayers as well, which is what I'm doing. I'm clicking on my quick prayers 2 times every 0.6 seconds, and that allows me to keep my prayer on all the time without any prayer points draining away. The reason why the quick prayers are helpful is because you can do a bunch of prayers at the same time. If you don't use quick prayers, then basically you can only do one prayer at one time, because you have to sit there and hover your mouse over that one prayer. spot to double click every 0.6 seconds. This allows you to use ultimate strength, ultimate, or the accuracy one, or eagle eye, whatever you want to do in addition to the protection prayer. When you finish Fairy Tale Part 1, you actually want to start Fairy Tale Part 2, and you want to get to the point in the quest where it has you use fairy rings. That's the only point you need to get to. There's no requirements to get to that point, I'm pretty sure, other than finishing Fairy Tale Part 1. So you should be able to do that, and that will unlock us fairy rings, which are pretty helpful, especially for our upcoming quest. So after Fairy Tale, you should be sitting at a little over 20 farming. So we're going to head over to the GE and buy all of our farming supplies for this entire series. I think our end goal is 68 farming. So we're going to buy all the farming supplies we need for that. It's going to be pretty cheap actually, because there is a method, at least at the making of this video, there's a very cheap method of farming that's actually the most efficient as long as you're not playing a lot of time every day. So head over to the GE and we're going to buy 10 garden pies, 15 acorns or 15 oak saplings if you don't want to make them yourself, 15 baskets of tomatoes, 4 apple tree saplings, 36 sweet corn, 4 banana saplings, 16 baskets of apples, 4 willow saplings, and another 4 baskets of apples. Then 17 teak saplings, 24 mahogany saplings, and 41 ultra compost. So now that we have our farming supplies, we can start doing some farm runs. Acorns grow really fast, only 3.5 hours, while our fruit trees will take about 16 hours. So you could do 4 regular tree runs for every 1 fruit tree run. So that's why we have so few fruit trees and a lot of acorns and willows. So I'm going to go over a farming run here really quick where we're doing all of them. So we have access to 5 regular trees and 4 fruit trees at this point on our account. Farming is a really easy skill when you do trees. Basically, all you do is go to the patch, rake the patch, put the seed into the patch, and then pay the farmer or the guy standing next to the patch to protect the patch for you so it doesn't die. Then after a certain amount of time, you come back, you check the patch, and you get a lot of experience. You pay the guy and he'll remove what's in the patch so that you can plant something again. You should move your house over to Taverley so that you can access the Taverley tree patch really quickly. And we'll be doing this until 32 farming, which is when we can start doing teak trees. So it shouldn't take too many runs to get to that level. So farming isn't something that you can just sit and train. So after you're done with Fairy Tale Part 1, you've bought your farming supplies, you've done like 1 farm run, it's time to move on to something else while our stuff grows. And that next thing is the museum. So over in Varrock, there's a museum and we got to get at least 100 kudos for our next quest, which is Bon Voyage, which is pretty easy. So I'll go over how to get that really quick. So earlier on in the series, I think episode 1, we did the Natural Museum quiz, which should have given us 28 kudos. Now we're going to go ahead and clean finds, which is what I'm doing in this clip. Basically, you take a rock, you use it on the table, and you get something from that. And then you just repeat that. There's 5 items we're looking for: the pottery, old symbol, ancient coin, old coin, and a ruby necklace. The first 5, I guess we're going for 6. The first 5 are for kudos, and the last thing is once you find that, it will unlock the ability to create dig site pendants. And the dig site pendant has the ability to teleport you over to the dig site. When you found all those things, you just use them on the guys sitting around the tables. After you use all of the items on the guys that are sitting around the table, then you head inside to the display area, the display cases, and you use the items that you found on the display cases and just use all of your items on a display case until one of them works, and do that until all of your items have been used. And this part should give you 50 kudos, which means we should be sitting at 78. So after you're done with cleaning the finds and putting them in their cases, next up we're going to be talking to the guy on the second floor. And basically what we do is we tell him about our quests that we've done. There's certain quests that give you kudos if you've done them and you talk to him. So if you've done all the quests that I've done, that I've shown to do, you should end up with 123 kudos once you're done talking to him. And you'll get a few XP lamps, and you should use them all on Slayer. So let's go buy the rest of the skilling supplies we're going to need for this episode. So head to the GE and buy the stuff I have listed here: 150 raw trouts, The planks, the logs, yeah, you guys see it. Once you've bought all of that, you can use a games necklace to teleport to the first option, Birth Orb, and there should be a bar just to the south of you. Go into that bar and there should be a trap door. Go down that trap door and you'll end up where I'm at in the firemaking or in the cooking clip. There is a fire there that never runs out, so that's a good place to cook. So just go ahead and cook your trout there until you hit 25 cooking. The cooking should only take a couple minutes. It's really quick. Next, we're going to move on to construction. So to do construction, basically get all the supplies I have in my inventory, and you're just going to use your house teleports to teleport to your house. Turn on building mode, and we're just going to make the best chair that we can right now, which takes regular planks and nails. When you run out of planks, you just teleport to the bank with your dueling ring. So teleport to Castle Wars with that bank there. Get planks, teleport back to your house with a house tab, and repeat. So from level 14 to 19 construction, it should only take about 5 minutes. It's 22 rocking chairs. And then once you hit 19, you can move on to oak chairs. And the oak chairs should take about 10 minutes to go from level 19 to 33. Once you hit level 30, you want to make 2 new rooms in your house, 2 bedrooms. And you're going to need your bolt of cloth for this. You have to make a bed in each room. And what this will allow you to do is hire a servant. So once you have those 2 rooms and a bed made in each room, head over to Artie. And in Artie, you want to head north up to the servant's house place, and then you want to hire a cook. What the cook does is, when you're in your house, you can use your noted planks on them, and they'll take them to the bank, unnote them, and bring them back to you. So what this does is it saves you having to go to the bank from here on out. From level 33 to 40 construction, you want to make oak larders. To do this, you got to make another new room, the kitchen. It should take about 7 minutes. You got to make 40 oak larders. So now that we have that skilling out of the way, we have some more quests to do. So first up is Bone Voyage. This is one of the newer quests, and it will give us access to Fossil Island, which is pretty big. It's going to be the way we're going to be training our farming. So after Bone Voyage, we have Giant Dwarf. Giant Dwarf gives us access to the minecart system for Kildegrim. Another slice of ham, that will give us a ancient mace, along with the ability to buy teleport spheres from Dorgishgan, which can teleport you to the Goblin Village or just Dorgishgan. It also gives us access to the train system in Dorgishgan. After that, we have Recipe for Disaster, Dave section. Will give us increased access to the RFD chest. I think we are up to black gloves now. After that, Garden of Tranquility, that will give us the Ring of Karos A. Taibo Wane Trio is a really beneficial one. That one will give us access to a few really helpful things. Firstly, the ability to catch and cook Karambwans. That's going to be the way we're going to be training our cooking later on. Ability to use Taibo scrolls, teleport scrolls. You can also take part in the Barbarian Smithing, which we're going to have to do eventually. And access to the Taibo village shops and the altar. When you finish Taibo Wane Trio, you won't get any experience right off the bat. There's 3 guys you have to talk to get your experience, and we do not want this strength experience right now. So just talk to the 2 people I'm going to show you right here to get some fishing experience and some cooking experience. But we want to stay low combat. Also, before you do Taibo Wane, I would recommend moving your house to Brimhaven, which is actually the main reason why we got 40 construction before doing this quest. I forgot to record this on my other account, so I'll just show you guys on this really quickly. Once you hit 32 farming, you can do teak trees. So make sure you have your teak saplings in your inventory. Make sure you bring garden pies, and this is where you plant your teak tree. So we don't have access to our dig site pendant yet. We don't have the magic level to enchant them. So we're going to have to just use our dueling ring to teleport to the duel arena. And then from the duel arena, we're going to head over to the glider. And at the glider, we can travel over right next to the dig site. So it's not as good as the dig site pendants, but it is pretty close. So this is Dr. Castle. I'll take you right here. Then you want to run over here to the barge. So board the barge, and then you want to travel with the lead navigator. Then travel with the junior navigator. And we also don't have the agility level requirement to go through that place yet. So just run over here, run northwest. And this is where our trees are at, or the patches are at. So this is where you rake them, plant your teak seeds here, and use your ultra compost. We're not going to be doing payments for these because it's too expensive. It's not worth it for how cheap the tree seeds are. So just plant your seeds, use ultra compost on it, and you're good for a few days. I'd recommend doing one of these teak tree runs once every 4 days. So the next skill that we have to train after finishing all those quests is firemaking. So from level 31 to 45 firemaking, it should take 519 willow logs. It should take about 25 minutes, assuming that you are getting 115k XP per hour, which is about what I was getting. We're going to be doing the zero time banking firemaking method again, which I showed in a previous video. So from level 45 to 60 firemaking, it's going to take 1,573 maple logs, which should take about 70 minutes, assuming you're getting 190k XP per hour. Next up, from level 60 to 64 firemaking, it will take 659 U logs, and that should take about 30 minutes if you're getting 295k XP per hour. The reason we're getting firemaking up is for A, total levels, and B, because we're going to need it for diaries. We didn't get 65. 65 is what we need for diaries, but we left one level to go because there are a few quests that we're going to do that give firemaking experience. So we're going to leave the last level for those quests, and then if we have a little bit of experience left to get after those quests, we'll get that experience afterwards. So we have a couple quests left after that 64 firemaking that I was able to squeeze in. So first of all is Tears of Guthix. So the reward from this minigame, other than the XP and quest points, is the ability to play the minigame, Tears of Guthix minigame, which is really helpful for lower level stats. As soon as you finish this quest, I'd recommend playing the minigame by talking to Juna. And since runecrafting should be our lowest skill, it's going to get our runecrafting level up. It gives you XP for your lowest skill. The XP you get is based off how many points you collect in the minigame. So the more you collect, the more XP you get. And then the recipe for Disaster Pirate part, this will unlock us Mithril Glove, so further access to the RFD chest. It took me a little bit longer on this quest because I got unlucky and I ended up burning all my fish cakes, which is the thing you need to make at the end of the quest. So I had to go back through the quest and get the supplies again. But yeah, that is pretty much it for this week. So I ended this week on 121 quest points and 849 total level. Hope you guys enjoyed, and see you in the next episode.